What happens when a traveler with zero outdoor experience gets dropped deep into the Amazon rainforest with no food, no water, and no shelter? The story opened with a girl who was very excited about going into the Amazon jungle to spend 3 days without water, food, and shelter. For this, she was literally terrified because she did not know anything about forests. So, to spend 3 days in the Amazon forest, she first reached the place with her team, where she received training from the team on how she could survive in the jungle alone. Because no one could live 3 days with her in the forest, she was nervous, but her teammates started her training quickly so that she could easily survive in the forest. For this purpose, she needed to know about 7 skills that were very important for living in the jungle. So, first, she received training in hunting animals, and for this, she received training in archery, because it was very important for her during her stay in the jungle in case wild animals attacked her. She tried many times but failed, and then, after a lot of practice, she finally became skillful in this skill and hit every arrow on point. Then she went inside the jungle for more training, where she received training in making ropes from tree roots, which were very important for making a shelter in the jungle, because with the help of ropes, she attached the woods together during shelter making. Then, she received training on how to make fire in the jungle without any equipment, because in the jungle, she had nothing for making fire, so she received training to make it with wood and also use stones for producing it. Then, she received training on making a shelter, which was very important for her because surviving in the jungle without shelter would have caused her a lot of problems. So, their girl gained all of this knowledge, and at last, the time came to go inside the jungle. She reached there with the help of a boat by crossing the river, then got out of the boat and went inside the jungle, and her team did not come there for 3 days. Now the survival journey of their girl had started, and she was literally nervous about doing this because she had never come alone into the jungle to live there. Before, it was the first time she had done anything solo in her life. After entering the jungle, she quickly found a good place for making her shelter, because this step was very important for their girl to make a shelter in that forest, which looked so creepy and dangerous. But she did not stop, and first chose a good place for making her shelter, then started her work. For this work, she needed a lot of wood to make a camp, like a little home. But when she tried to cut the wood from the trees, some insects attacked her very badly. She quickly left the place and went away, and was in very bad condition, because it was a very painful moment for their girl. She was in great pain because of the insect stings. She had no medicine at that time to help relieve the pain. Their girl could do nothing except cry, and she did, because at that time, their girl was totally helpless and had no contact with the world. But she did not stop and wore her shirt after some time, then again started her work of cutting wood. But now, when insects came near her, she quickly left the place and ran from the spot. By doing this again and again, she gathered the wood, and at last, their girl started making the shelter, which was not easy, but their girl was so brave. She first quickly made the structure of the shelter so that she could put leaves on the wood. After making the wooden structure, she faced another problem, because the sun quickly set and she had no fire. So their girl left the shelter-making work and gathered some wood and started to light a fire. It was not easy. She tried many times and failed, but at last, by using the cotton she had brought with her, she finally became able to light the fire in her shelter, which was not yet fully completed. For this work, their girl used a lot of her strength, which was not easy for a girl. So she then again started making the shelter and put the leaves of trees on it so that it looked like a camp, but she did not have a large enough amount of leaves, so she decided to put more leaves on the shelter the next day. Now, this was the first night of their girl living in the jungle without water and food, because in making the shelter and lighting the fire, she had no time left to hunt anything or find food. Their girl was very tired, because she had nothing to sleep on except the ground. She tried to sleep but failed without having anything comfortable, but she tried her best and then slept. After that, day 1 was completed. She woke up the next morning feeling a lot of pain in her body, because she had not slept well, and because of this, her body became tired. She was very unhappy but did not stop. Their girl quickly went to the riverside and filled her bottle with water, because she now needed water. She put some drops of medicine inside the bottle which were helpful for separating the dirt of the river from the water and making it fresh. But she had no fire, so their girl again lit the fire and started boiling the water. After doing this, she quickly drank it because she was very thirsty, having not drunk water since the previous day. After this, she felt some strength in her body and then again went to the river to freshen up. She first quickly noticed the surroundings to check if anything dangerous was present, and then after checking, she quickly entered the river and felt some relaxation. But she quickly got out from there after seeing an animal that was dangerous to humans and could attack her at any time. She got out of the water and then cut a bamboo tree. She quickly cut it into pieces and then started eating its interior, which was good for health. Now it served as food, because at that time it was better than nothing. Then, after eating it, she quickly started making the remaining part of the shelter. She cut many large leaves of trees and then put them on the top of the shelter, and then it looked like a camp. After doing this, their girl realized that life in the jungle was not easy. She was very shocked thinking about those people who lived there, but she already knew that living in the jungle was the regular routine of those people who lived there in tribes. But it was not easy for those who came there for surviving, because they were city dwellers and also used many facilities of the city, so they did not know how to survive in the jungle. Anyway, she was close to spending her second day in the jungle, and their girl was very happy that she was almost through her second day without facing any major problem, because at that time she had not faced any wild animals or similar dangers. But she was very hungry, so at last their girl decided to eat the worms that were present inside the wood. She ate them because at that time she had nothing else for eating, even though their taste was not good. Then their girl started fishing in the river and caught some little fish, which were not enough to fulfill her hunger, but were better than nothing. The sun had set, and she came into her shelter. After lighting the fire first, she put large leaves of trees on the ground and shaped them like a bed, which was not comfortable, but she knew that this was her last day here. Then, after doing this work, she cut the little fish and roasted them on the fire and ate them. After this, she sat near the fire and was very happy that the next day was her last day of surviving in the jungle, and then she would go home. In those thoughts, she finally slept in the shelter. Finally, the third day appeared. When she woke up, she was very happy to be meeting with her team. She realized how difficult life in the jungle was, and simply said that wildlife was not easy, where you could not get anything easily and could not buy anything. In forest life, you worked hard to survive and made your own way to live there. Then, at last, she left the shelter, and finally the team of their girl came. She was very happy to meet with them, and also showed them the shelter she had made for surviving 3 days. Her teammates were happy that their girl had completed this mission very well. Before going, they dismantled the whole shelter, then took their girl with them and headed back outside. Their girl was very happy to have survived 3 days in the forest, and also came to know the harsh reality of life in the jungle, which was not easy for anyone.